Mm.
Literally, I'm
They're
talking
very
to
disconnected.
last second cap from another team. I was still alive, but my both of my teammates decided that they wanted to be on the bottom floor. It was great. They didn't even die. I was protecting the point by myself. It's hard with no gun, and arguably,
Yeah,
it's probably harder with a gun. But all right,
I'm about to say it's hard without a gun.
I'm running sword, goo grenade, a pyro grenade, and flashbang with evasion dash. Because going invisible is kind of stupid when you have melee. I'm not gonna lie to you. So you can like hide
Now,
somewhere
the
and
ultra
shank
rares,
someone, but
the live wires,
you can't be
and
aggressive with it.
finally, the
Kind of.
overdogs.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into it.
Okay, bro, stop my matchmaking.
You're matchmaking?
Welcome to Quick Cash. Our
Oh, I
contestants
got
will need to
canceled.
gather the cash faster than the
There we go.
rest. If they hit the goal first, they can bask in glory.
The arena's more
just
like a
gonna hit
snow
you.
globe now. Perfect for contestants who want to shake things up.
In today's arena,
Why
contestants
is
will
the
have
second
to
I
aim
get to
high
this
as
game, I need to go
cash
to
out
the bathroom?
stations are
That's crazy.
suspended in the air.
Take your time after starting the game anyway.
Nah, I can hold it. Games are like 10 minutes.
Come
Not
on,
that.
Scotty,
Not
we've
that
got
bad.
our first elimination.
No more niceties out
Where
there.
are Negroes at?
The ultra rares are busy unlatching.
Well, you're in a game right now.
Yeah, are you not in the game? You're not in the game.
No. Pause it at a restart.
Look at this, a lonely contestant on the live wires doing their best to avoid a team wipe.
Shit, did not want to load me in.
That's crazy. It loaded in another teammate though. That's wicked, bro.
But one thing about fucking, what's this shit called? Quick resume. If I leave the game on for too long,
Yeah, it's annoying. I'll learn to just work around it. It's better with single player games because it always works with single player games. Multiplayer games they like DC for some reason. Oh wow, I missed
The
all of
ultra
that. All
rares
right,
are
I'm
all
getting off.
fired up. They've started our first
Mhm.
cash out.
Okay, so right. When I'm out, Mr. Prime Blade. I don't know why you can't pick your name.
you know,
It's pretty dumb, to be honest. But whatever. Randomizer gives you a terrible though.
we're getting straight wrestling TikToks for no reason now.
It's on you. Oh, Father.
This should be funny though.
Good.
Some niggas are bullying that nigga with one leg.
Yo, bro. Why would she do that, man?
They're
Bro
bullying
said,
that man.
it's for a check. I'm sorry.
Yeah, wah, wah, wah.
Wrestling gotten less popular, but it never lost its luster. It's still crazy. Good to see though.
Here we go, the ultra rares, the tough shells, and finally, the vogues. Unleash our contestants.
Alright, so apparently people are fighting over whether Lobotomy Kaizen and Theory Piece beat each
Prepare for
other.
a
So which one
whirlwind
do you
cash
think
dash and
wins?
quick cash. The team that secures a big enough
Well, I
stash
think one
first
of them
will
is funnier
triumph.
than the other.
That's right, Scotty. This is
You
going
said
to
what?
be a nail biter.
That's well, only one of them is funnier. So,
So which one is funnier?
what do you mean which one's funnier?
Okay, so you think Lobotomy Tyson is funnier? You
Yeah.
clearly haven't seen the Crocomount theories, bro. Cause that show,
Those
I was dying,
theories
bro.
are whack.
There is no reason any sane man should be saying that Crocodile is Luffy's mom, bro.
The Vogues are busy
Oh,
crowding into
Ivankov, old nigga favorite. Yeah, understandable, I guess.
By the way, it's just people
The
behind
teams
me.
have sized each other up.
Yeah, I'm upstairs at the wall. Oh, broke into the fucking bed.
unexpected.
Where are they?
They're out this shit. Let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna take it. Well, he
Where?
took it.
Guess we're going to egg.
Give it to me.
Eyes
Oh,
are
wait,
on
he
the
can't give
Ultra
it.
Rare's last contestant.
No, it's
This
me.
could
I'm
be a
just
chance for them to get
so.
on
Hey, look.
real.
If you want it, we can get it. As soon as I get over here.
The Ultra
You
Rares
want my
split
further at?
You can have it. I threw it in this building.
I put it all at one place. You just have to find it.
The Ultra Rares
I
have
could.
respawned.
I don't have
Let's
breach
see how
charge
they
on
bounce back.
Strider.
No, I could bust through the ground. It's just gonna take a second.
Don't do that. I can just dash to the second floor. Hello? Oh, I forgot. Ah, windows. Don't you just love it?
Nigga forgot.
I was like, what happened? Why am I not going through?
We are dead ass breaking this shit for you.
Where in the hell?
And it would have poured down.
The Vogues are
That's
setting the
crazy. We didn't
pace
even have to go
as
after
they
that.
start our match's first cash out.
Oh shoot! Oh,
A turnaround never goes out of fashion. Just look at the Vogues.
I'm down.
got one.
Yeah.
Only one though.
Reboot, team wiped.
Yeah, that was the problem. I ran directly into it.
Yeah, it happens.
Damn.
Theory, like I said,
Pull that shit up.
Theory piece is only the craziest because agenda isn't active. You see some of the agenda piece edits that are definitely worse than theory piece. What is agenda piece? These niggas are
Isn't
just
that the
saying
fucking
words.
fraud? Thanks, fraud. Nigga, I can't.
Yeah, come here. Oh, he ran. What up, bot?
Nigga, get a shot.
I can't dash.
Yeah. You see, there's an issue with me doing this fucking hammer.
I am at 4 health. Good gravy. There's Nick.
See the last member of the Tough Shells.
All right.
Well, the difference between me doing this and you doing this is you're fast enough to get close. I have to. That's the thing.
Bro said I got an RPG and dreams. Oh my god. Yeah, nigga. Boom. I don't know why he would walk into me. That was fucking.
Hey, I'm getting close to death. I need y'all niggas to respawn.
I'm coming to get you, man. Well, I'm coming to help you.
21 health. I'm not getting that cash out. Straight
Why
up.
is there a turret on the point? Gosh darn it. Yeah. Gosh darn it. I could have cursed, but I am on YouTube now.
The Ultra Rares are
I am on my YouTube shit.
They've snagged the match's first cash out.
Plus, it a download.
Did I read
link,
you
so
guys the elevator?
I'm not
Yeah.
getting YouTube kids.
I don't say that.
Coming back to life. I'm not even worried about
Yeah.
winning. I'm just having fun, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't know, man.
Where's
I
the
just picked that gun in a
stairs?
minute.
I'm rezzing our teammate.
God. I'll meet you here.
Oh, bro has the ball, bro.
Yeah, the
Vault
dome.
two is being
The
plucked
dome
by the
shield, the
Vogues.
thing that's 1,000 right now, and I can't get normally.
Covers here.
Oh, shit. And I'm back.
hurts more annoying than anything. I know you can stop it with smoke and goo grenade, but where are
I
you?
mean, dead. On point.
I got you. Look,
115 on a hammer swing versus 280 with, you know, a light.
watch this. Oh my god. This is actually some dookie gameplay.
This melee shit's not worth it.
Not for you.
Be honest. Yeah. Not for me.
That's unfortunate.
Like, it works.
I mean,
It works in a way where it's like, I have to get to surprise them.
got him.
It's like,
Another
don't
kill.
surprise them.
So I'm the greatest.
Remember what they're doing and be like, what kind of team comp is
The
this?
ultra rares have commenced a cash out.
It's fun.
Teams need
I'm
to
gonna
get
shoot
ready
a
to
bomb
shake
on
their
Cash
because
Out.
the
I
prize
died.
is coming their way.
And the ultra rares are facing a full
Damn.
team wipe. One
Well, I got
contestant
time. I'll
left.
come back to that.
Cash out confiscated by the tough shells. Good steal.
Wow, that was a bold play. Let's see how our contestants deal with a sky laser
That's
that
it. It's so
targets those
fucking
who
high
stand
for
still
what?
for too long.
Whose bright idea was to put the hammer? I mean, not hammer, dude. The fucking ladder up there. You know what? You know, you just gotta respawn. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, our teammate, right?
He DC'd! Oh my god. He's black. White. I don't know, whatever. Alright, threw a bomb. I don't know where it went. It was supposed to go to the building, but
No, don't worry about it.
I could infiltrate, but I don't have invisibility.
I'm sure
wow.
our contestants would like to pause.
This shit is
and catch their
out.
breath, but we are not lasers of any-
What?
The tough shells will need to try again. Team
There's
white.
two teams in that building and they're fucking ignoring each other. It's a little
The
war.
ultra rares find a needle in a haystack. They steal a cash out.
A little weird. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Alright, where you at?
The
Not
tough
where
shells are
you
coming
at.
back out of their
Let's go
shells.
to.
Team respawn.
We can still get. We can still get B. We can still get B. Prevent these niggas from getting a or W.
I'm swinging this hammer fast. Off after this again, I'm gonna tell. Something.
Yeah, I got that. There's nothing I can do.
I say after this. It's really basically literally in like a couple seconds.
Somebody stole it. No. Yep. Yeah, somebody stole it.
Tough
Amazing.
by name, tough
I'd be
by
pissed off,
nature.
bro. All
the
that
tough
was
shells
for
just
what?
bagged the cash out.
Alright. You should try out the light blast, Alan. It's fun.
And just like that, a new vault has appeared in the arena.
Oh shoot. Oh shoot. I'm dead. Yep. Cooked. That's crazy.
Yo, I'm going back to the lobby.
Why?
Do something.
And go to the bathroom. I don't want to go to the bathroom. Crazy. Alright, I'm back. Hello? Galen. Galen is not here.
till death do us part. Yet another couch video.
This is my grand 1,000-gallon cloud rainforest vivarium. I've named Pandora. Beautiful and majestic it stands, with its stunning array of tropical plants and even a fully automated climate. It's a personal project of mine of great scientific value, as my goal has been to recreate a real rainforest ecosystem within glass. And my, has it been an epic biological journey thus far. But the real action was just about to begin. I've been eagerly awaiting the big day that I could stock the vivarium with animals. That day has arrived. I call this monumental event Gaia, i.e., the Great Animal Integration Advent, where I would release an initial team of creatures to jumpstart the ecosystem. But little did I know, when I finally did fulfill my animal fantasies by adding in all the creatures, my seemingly fun experiment and rendezvous with Mother Nature would quickly turn out to be an eye-opening Pandora's box. And the sequence of events that occurred after throwing in a bunch of animals together in a vivarium shook me to the core. This is the craziest story of what happened when I finally added animals into my ecosystem vivarium, part 6 of my ecosystem vivarium series, when our rainforest vivarium Pandora officially becomes Mother Nature's Game of Thrones. Here on the Ants Canada Ant Channel. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Welcome to the AC fam. Enjoy. I approached Pandora, overflowing with anticipation and a bit of nervousness. I opened the doors to the vivarium and looked around. I couldn't believe the moment to add in more animals had come. I say more animals because, as shown in the last episode, I had already placed in a house gecko earlier that day as a test introduction, and just 2 days prior was surprised to discover that a large array of creatures had already taken up residence in the vivarium, introduced via the vivarium's decor and plants. From spiders to termites to beetles, millipedes, a baby grasshopper, and colonies of ants that had begun to compete for resources and wage war against one another. These very primal lands we created were already teeming with life. But to effectively recreate a rainforest ecosystem within glass, I knew I needed the biodiversity saturation that exists in a real rainforest. And so, my initial selection of animals were all waiting in their containers to be placed inside. AC family, let's do this. First, I started with the largest group of animals I'd be placing in, detritivores. These creatures would work hard in the ecosystem to break down rotting vegetation and material. First up, isopods. Whether you call them roly-polies, shellbugs, pillbugs, or potato bugs, these amazing crustaceans were my top choice for detritivores. I had several varieties. I placed them into Pandora one by one. Oreo crumble, in you go. Red panda, in. Anemone, go. Murena, be free. Panda, I love their little panda eye spots. Red koi, in you go. Whiteout, in. And papaya. When they were all in, I marveled at the sight of all of them exploring their new forest floor. It was neat to see their different color patterns. There's a red koi with a whiteout and a papaya, and there's an anemone getting butt pushed, and another red koi running through. The isopods instantly went straight to work, munching on decaying leaves and vegetation, just as I'd hoped they would. Yes, my beloved isopods, feed and go forth to multiply in these vast lands, now yours to populate and live fruitfully. Next, in this container, one of the scariest, most disgusting creatures on Earth in my books, but also important detritivores in ecosystems.
record low interest rates. If they sell their house and buy another one, they will get a new mortgage at interest rates which will triple their payments on a home of the same value. According to data from the National Association of Realtors, 87% of new home purchases are made using a mortgage, and the average down payment of a first home buyer is only 7%. That means higher mortgage rates are worth avoiding at all costs. A report by the Wall Street Journal found that even when homeowners moved interstate, they would hold on to their homes and rent them out, and then rent another house to live in. Everybody that wants to sell their home is waiting for interest rates to fall. Everybody who wants to buy a home is also waiting for interest rates to fall. And everybody who is stuck renting is being forced to compete with people who already own a home but don't want to sell it because they have locked in a sweet interest rate. The players in the real estate market are stuck in a Mexican standoff, but the renters are stuck fighting with a banana. The only hope for people who just want to buy a home is to get it off someone who needs to sell. According to another report published by the National Association of Realtors, the average home seller in America was 60 years old. At that age, one of the reasons people need to sell their home is because they are dead. But if you are holding out hope that the biggest home-owning generation in America downsizing will make it easier for people trying to buy their first home, I am here to do what I do best and crush your dreams with facts and figures. There are 3 reasons why older generations permanently exiting the above-ground real estate market isn't going to make it easier to buy a house. The first reason is that they can take it with them when they are gone. The inequality between homeowners and renters is even worse in old age. According to data from LendingTree, 8 out of 10 Americans aged over 65 own their own home, and only 19% of those still have a mortgage. The fastest growing reason why they are selling their homes is not because they are dying. It's because they need money to pay for retirement living. A report by the Washington Post found that the annual cost of nursing homes has gone from a median of $65,000 a year in 2004 to $108,000 a year in 2020 when the article was published. Conditions in nursing homes have also been getting worse, as it's one of the fastest growing asset classes for private equity companies like Blackstone and Bain looking to get higher returns on real estate. In 2017, Blackstone closed a $745 million deal with the real estate investment trust Welltower to buy its portfolio of 3,400 aged care units. Blackstone's holdings are growing, but they are dwarfed by other private equity firms that have raised billions directly into aged living because they know how much value it offers investors. By cutting costs and raising prices, these companies have generated exceptional yields off real estate developments that cater to a growing market of elderly Americans. Most Americans don't make $108,000 a year, and even fewer can afford that much in retirement, so people are selling their homes to pay their fees to these facilities. Private equity's role in buying up single-family homes away from regular families is overstated, but they have realized that they don't even need to own the homes to benefit from their value. States where home prices were highest had the most expensive aged care facilities, because elderly residents in those states have more money to pay for it after selling their homes. People that can't afford to pay these fees are relying on limited Social Security and their own family and friends to support them when they can no longer physically work. According to federal data and a 2020 Brookings study, slightly more than 10% of American adults provide some type of care to another adult. Usually, it is an adult children caring for their parents. In an interview with the Washington Post, Jan Muchler, a director of the Gerontology Institute at the University of Massachusetts, said that when an adult child takes on those roles, a lot of times they have to give something else up. And sometimes that's some of their work or all of their job. So if you are waiting for that inheritance to finally buy your first home, it's just as likely that this wealth will be sucked up by private equity companies before it gets to you. And that's just the first reason. So it's time to learn how money works to find out why you probably won't benefit as much as you are hoping from the boomers passing down their homes. This week's lesson was sponsored by Revolut. Revolut is a global financial super app used by over 30 million users that gives you the tools to easily. Revolut makes it easy for us to. The average age of a first home buyer in America is now 35 years old, up from 33 years old in 2021 and just 30 years old in 2010. A survey of young homebuyers conducted by Freddie Mac and Bankrate asked why young people were waiting until later in life to buy a home. I probably don't need to tell you that the #1 response was that people wanted to buy their first home sooner, but they couldn't afford it until they had paid off their student loans, progressed in their career, and had dedicated years of saving a down payment. New financial products that offer home lending with lower down payment requirements have been rolled out by banks, non-bank lenders, and the government as an answer to this problem. The average down payment of 7% means that some first-time homebuyers are contributing significantly less to their first purchase by using products like the Federal Housing Administration loan insurance, which allows first-time buyers to put down as little as 3% of the purchase price plus closing costs. Companies like Zillow are taking this a step further, with plans to roll out 1% down payment financing to eligible homebuyers nationwide. If you are someone who wants to buy their first home, these offers may look like they are there to help you out, but they are actually just making the problem even worse. The only people these lending products are really helping out are the people who already own multiple properties, which according to Redfin are mostly baby boomers who own $18 trillion worth of real estate. According to the disclosures of these loan products, most offers have a limit on the total loan size that can be taken out. These products are meant for first-time homebuyers who want to buy a basic home, so that's fair enough. But all that it really does is pump up the price of affordable homes until they become unaffordable again, in an even worse way. What these loan products do is move the financial bottleneck from the down payment to the repayments. Just because someone can get into a $750,000 house with only $10,000 down doesn't mean they'll be able to afford the repayments. A down payment is a one-time expense, but repayments on a house that is more expensive than it should be because of a loan product like this have to be paid every month for the next 30 years. The only real winners are the people that purchased these homes when they were a quarter of their current value and can now sell them to buyers with risky financing. And that's the second reason why boomers retiring from life isn't going to make it easier for you to find a home. It was never a matter of age. According to the U.S. Census Bureau estimates from 2016, the number of families with children who owned their own home decreased by 3.6 million in the 10 years prior to the survey. Families with children were preferring to rent, either because of the flexibility it offered or because they could not afford to buy their own home. Families that own their own home also have fewer children on average, and the overall national home ownership rate has decreased by 3.4%. However, the small number of families that own multiple pieces of real estate as rental properties or holiday homes is growing. According to the 2022 Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, only 6% of Americans own property that they inherited, and only 3% live in a property that was passed down to them. The other homes are being kept by a small handful of children from wealthy families as investment properties, often in addition to the homes that they already own themselves. So if you think you just need to wait out the boomers to finally afford a home, unfortunately, the statistics say that their estates are only going to become more concentrated in the hands of fewer people. Their age doesn't matter, but their wealth does. An article by Bloomberg surveyed people with adult children and found that a majority of respondents reported draining their own retirement savings to support their children who are struggling to afford a home to live in. Some families are going to leave multiple homes to a few children. Some families are going to make big sacrifices to help their children. Some families don't have enough to help at all, and some families are going to need support from their children. If you are not a part of the first two groups, then you are going to be even further behind when assets are passed down from older generations. And that's the third reason why you shouldn't hold out hope for a flood of new houses hitting the market when all the boomers die. They aren't leaving houses for you. A 2017 census report found that a third of counties in America were experiencing more deaths than births. States like Florida have a lot of old wealthy retirees that have displaced normal families in certain communities. The homes that are being left in these areas don't have the amenities that first home buyers want, like access to job opportunities or good school districts, because retirees pick places to live to avoid these things. If the people who inherit these properties don't want to live in a community full of retirees, they can either sell the property or rent it out. If they sell the property, it will add supply to the housing market, but it won't be in an area where a first homebuyer wants to purchase. According to the State of Housing published by Harvard University, institutional investors have seen this gap and are targeting affordable homes, especially in the Sun Belt, because they offer a good risk-adjusted return on investment. The role of institutional investors like private equity firms in the real estate market is almost always sensationalized, but they account for 13% of all residential sales in 2021, according to a report published by the National Association of Realtors. It doesn't call for the stupid laser eyes just yet, but in the Sun Belt counties that they are targeting, they are an even larger share of buyers, and they have moved the market. So baby boomers are going to leave their homes behind, but they will mostly be leaving them to their already wealthy children or institutional investors. probably not the story you wanted to hear, but I couldn't give up on an opportunity to shit on your dreams to get 2024 started on the right note. These desperate times are calling for desperate measures, which is why more smart and well-educated people than ever are falling for scams that offer the vague hope of lifting them out of the rat race. This has been a common theme of hard times for thousands of years, and to see why, go and watch my new video over on how history works to find out why fraud never changes, but we keep on falling for it. If you are not already one of the 10,000 people subscribed to my totally free email newsletter Compounded Daily, you should check it out, because myself and some of the best finance creators will be releasing major articles in the new year that will be posted there exclusively. So if you're not already subscribed, follow the link in the video description to keep on. It's immoral to let a sucker keep his money. Well, that's what the seasoned con artist would say. This cheeky motto might seem like a tongue-in-cheek justification for their crafty heists, but let's face it, sometimes it's hard to muster sympathy for their victims, especially when you hear about the outlandish scams they've fallen for. We've all heard about how some poor soul was taken for a ride by an outlandish con and thought, how could anyone fall for that? From the silver-tongued religious cult leaders who can convince their followers to part with fortunes, to the ambitious street urchins executing a flawless 3-card Monty, the art of the scam is as diverse as it is cunning. And then there are those budding con artists, forever on the lookout for their unsuspecting investor to swindle with their too-good-to-be-true get-rich-quick schemes. But hold on. Aren't we smarter these days? In our era of information overload, shouldn't it be harder to pull the wool over our eyes? Unfortunately not. If anything, it makes it easier. We're just as vulnerable to scams today as our ancestors were centuries ago. The allure of a quick win or a life-changing opportunity blinds even the savviest among us. But don't lose hope. There is good news. The psychology behind these scams is timeless. The charismatic grifter, the vulnerable mark, and the promise of turning dreams into reality. These elements remain unchanged. What evolves are the disguises these tricks wear to stay one step ahead. So they might have a facelift, but inside these cons are literally the oldest trick in the book. In fact, some scams are so brilliantly simple, they've barely changed at all. Why fix what ain't broken, right? So whether you want to know the tricks of the trade, or whether you're a con artist seeking inspiration, today's deep dive into the world of cons, scams, swindles, and frauds will unravel the historical threads of deceit. Street crime. Hands down, street crime is the staple of all scams, because it only needs a lone trickster and an unsuspecting sucker. Why pull off an Ocean's 11 heist when you can lift someone's wallet when they're not looking? At the core of street crime is pickpocketing, a craft so ancient it predates pockets. Since humans learned to walk upright, pickpockets have been honing their sleight of hand. But for the most part, their wicked ways were not widely known. Then came along Charles Dickens. His character of Oliver Twist helped the public consciousness understand the criminal underworld in detail. Yet this is no mere literary fancy. Pickpockets are in every country, every culture, and every time. But when it comes to one of the most well-known, we have to turn to Mary Frith. Born in 1584, she carved her legend in 16th century London, not just with her deft fingers, but with a bold fashion statement, cross-dressing. She wasn't just defying the law. She was thumbing her nose at societal norms by smoking a pipe and strutting in men's attire. But she wasn't challenging gender roles because of an identity crisis. It was simply a way to stick it to the man, similar to why punks have green mohawks and nose piercings. Usually, standing out from the crowd isn't a good thing for a pickpocket, but Mary's skills were famous. Her signature move is how we got the word cut purse, because she would, you guessed it, cut the strings of a purse before making a quick getaway. Her antics were so legendary that plays were written about her during her lifetime. She would even star on stage by dressing as a man. Apparently, that was a bigger social faux pas in 17th century England than theft. But you don't have to be bold like Mary to be an effective pickpocket. Sometimes the pickpocket works solo. They stick close to a mark and finger any light objects. Other times, there's a team, one to distract, the other to extract. It's an art form so effective, so timeless, not even the CCTV or beat cops can stop them. So it's time to learn how history works as we pull back the curtain on history scams.
The Vogues are opening Vault 3.
We now break from our regular programming to bring you a message from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, America's largest inquiry law firm. A jolly old friend of mine was recently in an accident and had a few injuries, and he made the mistake of not calling a lawyer. Well, folks, I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't be like my friend. Submitting a claim with Morgan & Morgan is as easy as 1, 2, 3. No need to visit law offices and sit through laborious consultations. It only takes 8 clicks from your handheld device. Simply add your case details, sign contracts, and add medical records all from the ease of your snazzy mobile phone. Contacting a personal injury lawyer is the obvious first step in a car accident. To forthepeople.com/howhistoryworks to get started today. Street cons and hustles. The next step up is the street con. Think of this like the Pokemon evolution of street crime. They require more showmanship, planning, and subtler manipulation. These are all about deception in plain sight. Take the classic 3-card Monty, a true masterpiece of street deception. Here, the dealer, and by that I mean the con artist, puts down cards and shuffles them for a game of Find the Lady. However, a planted accomplice, the shill, plays along, engineering a loss so close to victory that you're lured into a false sense of triumph. But remember, in this game, the only winning move is not to play. There is no chance of winning. I repeat, there is no chance of winning. It's a sleight of hand whereby the dealer hides cards beneath one another. This ironclad con first emerged in the 15th century, though the most well-known operator was Canada Bill Jones. He was a 19th century maestro of the Monty. He was such a good crook that newspapers lauded him as the greatest of confidence men. Unfortunately for him, his success as a riverboat gambler couldn't prevent him from dying a pauper. It goes to show, crime doesn't pay. Then there's the shell game, the 3-card Monty's crafty cousin, tracing its roots to ancient Greece and gaining notoriety in the painting of the European Middle Ages until bursting into popularity in the 19th century with the advent of circuses and fairs. It's a game of finding a ball hidden under one of 3 cups. To the sucker, it appears as if the dealer is just moving the cups around at lightning speed. In reality, the ball is discreetly removed right under the mark's nose. These street cons prove that the most straightforward illusions have a timeless allure. But for criminals eager to hit the jackpot, they'd need to get more creative. Counterfeiting. Is it any surprise that you'll find the roots of counterfeiting stretch all the way back to the creation of coinage? The craft of faking money is as old as money itself. In ancient Rome, cunning crooks mastered the art of shaving precious metals from coins, and then melting them down to mint their own fortunes. Some even took to crafting coins from cheaper metals. Of course, they had to coat them in a thin veneer of gold or silver to complete the illusion. In those days, they didn't have today's advanced systems for detecting fake cash, so defrauding an individual was as easy as destabilizing an economy. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and you'll find blacksmiths doing the trick of melting down metals to forge money. But as the art of minting grew more sophisticated, the forger's task became increasingly challenging. Nowadays, banknotes contain all kinds of fail-safes like the weight of the paper, hidden ink, and images that only appear when held up to light. Yet, counterfeiters weren't deterred. They simply shifted gears. Why fake money when you could fake things that were more valuable? By the 9th century, bishops, hungry for power, began crafting fake decrees which they alleged were written by earlier popes. These decrees granted them new powers and rights, which means it was the papal equivalent of faking your parents' signature on your report card. Fast forward to 14th century Hungary, and we meet Archdeacon Georgi Hondo, a master forger whose false documents and seals were so convincing that they swayed political decisions and territorial claims. Then came the era of art forgery, and with it, Han van Meegeren, a Dutch painter who duplicated masterpieces in the 20th century. He had a particular penchant for Johannes Vermeer's work. His pièce de résistance, The Supper at Emmaus, it was so brilliantly forged it duped art experts and Nazis alike, including Hermann Göring. Telling the difference between a work of art and its fake requires a delicate balance of art history, a keen eye, and meticulous scientific analysis to determine whether materials and pigments used are from modern times or bygone eras. But Van Meegeren was simply filling a void left by demand. A demand that surged during the Renaissance as classical art and artifacts became all the rage. Enterprising forgers of the time didn't stop at canvases. They turned to the arduous task of sculpting entire statues to sell off as ancient treasures. Counterfeiting from metal to marble, from paper to paint, is a testament to the lengths some will go for the perfect swindle. But all these are nothing compared to the other long cons. Real estate. It's been said that real estate is the best, quickest, safest, and the only way to get wealthy. And it certainly is for scammers. Faking deeds and property rights is one of history's oldest forms of fraudulence. But it's not just quaint farmhouses and new city developments that are bought and sought. Enter Victor Lustig, a maestro of deceit in the roaring 1920s who sold the Eiffel Tower. The renowned Austrian-Hungarian scammer dressed up as a government official and promised scrap metal dealers that the Eiffel Tower was due to be torn down. After all, the Eiffel Tower was originally planned as a temporary attraction for the World Fair. Plus, there were recent newspaper articles about the landmark's maintenance costs and public approval ratings. This air of legitimacy was so vital in helping him pull off the con so well that he sold the Eiffel Tower twice. Meanwhile, over in the US, George C. Parker was making a career by selling New York's landmarks. His portfolio included the Brooklyn Bridge, Madison Square Garden, and the Statue of Liberty. But his targets were not desperate businessmen. He preyed upon the naivety of trusting immigrants. His ruse was uncovered when police caught his victims erecting tool booths along the Brooklyn Bridge. Though Parker's escapades included a daring courthouse escape in a sheriff's uniform, his luck eventually ran out. His fourth conviction would be his last, and he spent his final days locked up behind the bars of Sing Sing prison. But the crown jewel of property cons belongs to Scottish charlatan Gregor MacGregor, who sold a country that didn't exist. In the 1820s, he approached European investors with his fake Central American country of Poyes, complete with a fake currency and fake history. In the end, 250 people immigrated across the world only to discover that their new home country wasn't real. Speaking of things that aren't real, spiritualism and religion. Spiritual deception is as old as the Oracle of Delphi in ancient Greece. Here, the Pythia would deliver cryptic prophecies, especially to wealthy patrons who would pay to hear good things. The ancient practice of BS has evolved into the modern theatrics of cold reading, where today's mediums of psychics feign divine insight. It's a simple yet effective combination of high-probability guesses and body language analysis to guide a conversation. Check out any modern-day medium, and you'll see them employing a technique known as cold reading. But these spiritual deceptions aren't confined to dimly lit rooms with crystal balls. They've found their ways into the realms of entrepreneurship with religious fervor. Pyramid schemes, for instance, use similar manipulative tactics, preying on fears and aspirations around wealth and freedom. Thankfully, not every phony psychic escapes the law. American televangelist Jim Bakker built himself an empire of fame and fortune off the backs of credulous, desperate folk. He used their money to create a Christmas theme park, but when it came to light that he was embezzling their investment, the jig was up. He even used $250,000 to pay off a secretary who had accused him of rape. It couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. In the end, he went down for 24 counts of wire fraud, mail fraud, and conspiracy, though he only served 5 years for his 45-year prison sentence. However, his short stint did him good. He emerged from prison a changed man who believed in the impending apocalypse, and just so happened to have doomsday kits to sell. One scammer who did feel the pain of guilt was Marjo Gortner, a child preacher prodigy turned whistleblower. As a 4-year-old, his parents groomed him into becoming the youngest ever ordained minister. During the 1972 Oscar-winning documentary Marjo, he revealed the tricks of the preacher trade, such as stagecraft, rhetorical devices, and how to count wads of cash in a seedy hotel room. Though no doubt one of the reasons for his disillusionment with the exploitive preacher circuit was when his dad absconded with millions of dollars. He did turn his life around though. He stopped pretending, and he became an actor. But perhaps the most well-known spiritual scammer was Rasputin. The mysterious Russian mystic entered the royal courts with his alleged healing abilities and prophetic powers, and of course, his prowess in the bedroom. However, historians now regard him as nothing more than a randy charlatan who manipulated those around him for his own. Well-known spiritual scammer was Rasputin. The mysterious Russian mystic entered the royal courts with his alleged healing abilities and prophetic powers, and of course, his prowess in the bedroom. However, historians now regard him as nothing more than a randy charlatan who manipulated those around him for his own personal gain. Go figure. But what all these stories show is that dreams, fears, and anxieties of humans never change, which is exactly why this next con attracts so many suckers. Investment schemes. Thomas Tusser first said, "A fool and his money are soon parted," way back in 1557. If he'd been around when the stock market was invented, he might have said, "A fool and another person's money are soon parted." That's because the labyrinthian design of investment scams is intricately designed to bamboozle amateurs and distract professionals. Take, for instance, Pharaoh Psamtik I of ancient Egypt, who was outwitted by his own mercenaries in recorded history's earliest finance cons. He had hired a group of Greek mercenaries to serve in his army, but once their services had concluded, he did not pay them. So the mercenaries came up with a scheme to get their payback. Literally. Their plan? A fake ransom. The leader of the mercenaries, Phanes, left his own children in Egypt as supposed guarantee of his return, but instead he fled to Libya, where he advised the king to send a large sum of money back to Egypt. But instead of the pharaoh getting a payday, the mercenaries intercepted the gold, took the children, and got out of town. leaving the ruler without money or soldiers. If that's confused you, that's fine. Financial scams are designed to feel either too easy or too hard to understand, which means you are either lulled into a false sense of security or defer to the con artist to do the math for you. That's why Charles Ponzi's scheme became so famous. During the roaring 1920s, Ponzi audaciously promised investors outrageously high returns on their investments in international reply coupons. The catch? He used one group of investment money to pay off returns to another group of investors. In essence, he was passing dollar bills down the line to make them believe he was generating wealth. As expected, the house of cards eventually collapsed under its own weight, but he almost got away with it. When a Boston financial writer suggested that Charles Ponzi was up to no good, the con artist sued him for libel, and won. Ponzi was awarded $500,000 in damages, which would be around 10 million big ones today. Still, that's a drop in the ocean compared to Bernie Madoff, who pulled off the largest Ponzi scheme in the history of the world. He defrauded a staggering $65 billion from his clients, who included Steven Spielberg, Larry King, and Kevin Bacon. His crimes came to an end when clients wanted to pull their money out during the 2008 financial crisis. But it was his own sons who called the cops when he confessed to them that his business was, quote, a giant Ponzi scheme. Then there was Enron, the behemoth of the energy world, whose scandal rocked corporate America. Through a web of complex accounting charades, Enron's top brass masked debt and inflated the company's value to astronomical heights. Thankfully, skeptical analysts and investigative reporters exposed discrepancies in the company's finance reports. When the truth surfaced, the bubble burst. Investors pulled out, resulting in a rapid share price drop that caused the company to collapse. The result was the largest bankruptcy due to fraud of all time. As for the culprits, they got between 5 and 12 years in jail, but their victims had already lost hundreds of millions in retirement funds and lifetime savings. That brings us neatly to our final scam. It's the newest one in human history, but something tells us it's going to be around for a long time. Bitcoin. Whatever you think of blockchain technology or cryptocurrency, you must admit, it's a gold rush for scammers. Fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye. Picture Jimmy Zhong, a modern-day digital bandit who managed to abscond with a staggering $3 billion in Bitcoin. Then there's the enigmatic social media rapper Razzlecon and her hacker husband masterminding a $4.5 billion crypto laundering saga like an internet version of Bonnie and Clyde. And then there's the lucrative pump and dump schemes pulled off by Logan Paul and Brian King Legend. That's not his real name, of course. Typically, these cons work by acquiring large amounts of new coin quietly and secretly. The second phase is creating buzz by spreading rumors and that the coin is the next big thing. As the frenzy mounts, so does the price. Amateur investors, lured by the promise of a quick buck, pile in. As soon as the price has been driven up sufficiently, the original puppet masters sell their holdings at an inflated price, grab their cash, and skedaddle. Their promotion grinds to a halt. The artificial demand evaporates, and the inflated crypto bubble bursts, leaving a trail of financial ruin in its wake. But the most dramatic fall from grace belongs to Sam Bankman-Fried, once the golden boy of the crypto world who was vocal about transparency and regulation in the Bitcoin space. That came to bite him in the butt because he was found guilty of fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy. His towering fortune of $15 to $25 billion came tumbling down. He's now worth a grand total of zero, and is now facing up to decades behind bars. But at least he'll have the time to think about how things could have been different if he just did the Nigerian prince scam. But who is more guilty? The con artists or the people who are easily duped? Tell us about your experiences in the comments below. Some corporations are able to run some of the biggest scams in the guise of a corporation because they've built very close connections to the government. To find out more, go and watch our video on Amway, and share this with someone who's always looking for a get